everybody. Welcome back. This is Miss Faye, and this is my world. Okay, today's topic is it a date or a sexual transaction? Is it a date or a sexual transaction? Okay, before we get started, I'd like to say welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to all of the new viewers, all of the new subscribers, and welcome to you who have been with me from the beginning. I really appreciate you. Now, those of you who are new to the channel, I will answer your relationship questions. So at the end of the video, I'll show you a link where you can send in your questions, and I will either answer them privately through the email, or I will share them online with the collective, and it can be your decision. Now, those of you who are interested in these caps, they are available in my online store, and you'll find a link in the description. All right, now it's time for today's affirmation, and we do these affirmations to help you with your spiritual growth. All right, and here it is. I am at peace with all that has happened, is happening, and will happen. All right, people, let this sink in. I am at peace with all that has happened. Everything that has happened in your past, you want to be at peace with that. You want to be at peace with what is happening in the present, right now, and what will happen in the future. So, I am at peace with all that has happened, is happening, and will happening. Let this affirmation be a blessing to you today. All right, now it's time for movement. And movement is the second part of our daily exercise, just to get our blood circulating for the day. Okay, today's movement, we're going to do an arm movement. All right, we're going to lift our arm just like this. And what we're going to do, sit up straight, going to bring it back and bring it forward. And that's one. Okay, we're going to do 2 exercises and 5 of each. All right, so let's do 5 of these. Here we go. 1, 2, do you feel it? 3, I feel it. 4, one more. 5, all right, shake it out. Now let's try the other side. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, one more. 5. All right, shake it out. How's that feel? I felt that in both my shoulders, okay? All right, I hope it helps to loosen up yours. All right, now let's dive into the message today. Is it a date or a sexual transaction? All right, ladies, I did pull a video. Let's watch the video, and then we're going to talk more about this subject. Is it a date or a sexual transaction? All right, here we go.
That is a great question, and some men will. But those type of men who expect you to put out after they might say to themselves, hey, I just spent $200 on dinner. I expect some sex after this meal. That's not something a high value man will do. That's not something a strong, confident alpha male leader would do. It isn't. That's something a very weak, feminine, insecure man would say or think. Not even say, but just think it. Okay? A very strong, confident man who's in his masculine energy won't have those thoughts. So if you're with someone who's thinking those thoughts and sort of going, I did this, now you have to do that, so they're only doing nice things and they're looking for that reward of sex, very weak energy, Okay, not a masculine man at all. So if you're with a guy who does that, he's not your ideal partner, and he's a lot of things that he needs to work on. So something to keep in mind. Great question.
Now, as you see from the video, there are some men who feel like if they take you on a date and spend a certain amount of money on you, they expect sex. Now, ladies, when you go on a date, you're not going to even go on a date until you know who you're going to be going on a date with. You don't just go on a date with these random people and then you don't know what to expect on the date. Like in the video, there are higher value men who will take you on a date to get to know you. Understand? It's usually men who don't have a lot, low vibrational men who are not mature, who will look for sex if they spend a certain amount of you on a date. Okay? Now, this way you can weed them out. If you go on a date and a man expects sex from you, then you know he's not for you. He's not for you. Okay? He's just looking for sex. He's not looking for any type of lasting relationship or anything like that. He's just looking for sex. All right? So don't date him again. All right? Because it can be a surprise sometime. You know, you go out on a date and then everything goes well. And then after the date, it can become hairy if he expects sex from you. And you have no idea. But ladies, you are not obligated to have sex with a man no matter how much he spends on you. Now, we did get a letter in that prompted the message today. So let's dig into this letter. She says, I got into a conversation with my adult son. He got adamant about the following statement. If a man takes a woman out to dinner, she should know that he is expecting sex. I told him that is not how it goes. Is this what the average young man thinks? If it is, it's the wrong thing to think. If it is, you see, young men are getting their advice many times from narcissists. Okay? And narcissists are all about using women or whatever. Okay? And the reason for this is because the narcissist is usually the man that's bigger than life, that's boastful, and a lot of narcissists are mentoring young men. So you know, if that's the case, then the information that young men are getting is distorted. It's distorted information. Okay? So, women, it's up to you to set them straight. When you go out on a date, number one, on a first date, don't go all out. Okay? You know, a man takes you to dinner on the first date, be conservative with whatever you order because you don't know him. You don't know if he's gonna pay. You don't know if he's gonna expect anything after this date. You are just filling him out. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you, you are going to be observing him. That's why you're going. You're not going on the first date just to eat. No, you're going out to observe him to see if he is the type of man that will suit you. Okay? And he's doing the same thing with you. He's taking you out to see if you are the type of woman that suits him. Unless he is a low vibrational man. Well then, his objective quite possibly could be sex. That's in a low vibration. That's what it is. You understand? Whatever he does, many times it's transactional. He'll take you out on a date, but it's transactional. He may just take you out dancing or whatever. It's transactional if he is in a low vibration. All right? Sex is on the menu. So ladies, when you go on a date, be conservative. You're going to get to know him. You're going to see how he is on a date, how he treats you on a date. You enjoy yourself, sure. Okay, ladies, when you go on a date, I'm talking, this is your first date. Your first date. You don't really know him, but this is in the beginning. You're wanting to get to know him. Okay? So you go on a date. Be conservative on the date. Okay? Because you want to observe him. All right? No matter what the date is, keep your eyes on him. You want to see how he treats you, how he reacts to certain things, or if he expects anything from you when the date is over. Okay? Which means that, ladies, you are not obligated to give a man sex if he takes you out on a date. I'll say a date, because some of us women are having sex with these men because we know it's expected. And so we just go along with it, not realizing that we're forming all of these soul ties with these low vibrational people. You are not obligated to have sex with anyone because of a date. Now, if you are what they call a sugar baby and this man is taking care of you, yeah, everything he does for you is a transaction. All right? What he does, he wants something in return. That's a transaction. But just on a regular date, you trying to get to know the person. No, it's not a transaction. You don't owe him anything for taking you on a date. And this is what I want you ladies to understand. A date is to get to know each other. And if the man decides he wants to take you to dinner, then he should be able to afford dinner and everything's cool and not expect anything from you other than conversation. Conversation. Ladies, know who you are. Love who you are. And don't allow anyone to make you feel like you owe them something because they did something nice for you. Actually, you told your adult son right. You know, he's just been groomed by other men who have made him believe this. And this is not so. This is not so. No. You should not be expecting sex when you take somebody out to dinner. Now, let me tell you some contradictions here. Here's a contradiction. If a man really has fallen for a woman and he's asked her out to dinner and, you know, eventually she says yes, 9 times out of 10, he's not looking for sex. He's just glad that she said yes. And he'd be happy just to be in her presence. All right? But then there's another man who takes you for granted. And you know those men. They take you for granted. They take you out, wherever they take you out, and sex is on the menu. Many times, if a man starts you off like that, well, that's what he's going to expect from you. For instance, whenever you date him, if he starts you off with getting sex during the date, well, then that's why he's wanting to date you, for sex. Ladies, you are not obligated to have sex with these men. Period. If they want to date you, it's to get to know you, to see if you both are compatible, if you both really want to be together. You understand? Dating is not just about running out and having sex with any and everybody you can. No. And dating should not be transactional. It should not be transactional. Now, if you're in some sort of business, like I said, the sugar babies, the sugar or whatever, where if somebody is taking care of you financially, yeah, it's a transaction. But just someone who asks you out on a date, or 2, or 3, does not mean that you're obligated to have sex with them. That's the point. That's the point. And many men do have the wrong idea about that because they have been groomed by other men who have the wrong idea about that. So it's up to us women to set them straight on that. Okay? And during the dating process, communication is the key. Communicate. And then there won't be any misunderstandings. Communicate. If you tell him before the date that you're celibate, when he takes you out on the date, he's not going to be expecting sex, although he may try just to see if you're really celibate. But if you tell a man that you are celibate and he still wants to date you, 9 times out of 10, he is really interested in you. Really interested in you. If he wants to date you, when you tell him that you are celibate. And tell him before the date. Don't wait until you're on the date. Tell him before the date, before he even asks you. And see what happens. All right? If he is a high-value man who is confident, he loves himself, he knows himself, he is a mature individual, by you telling him that you are celibate, he'll feel like he found a prize. He found a prize. Because it's too many loose women out here. And high-value people are looking for people who are not like the ordinary loose goose. They don't want that kind of person. They want somebody that everybody hasn't had. Okay? Value yourself. Value who you are. If you are on your spiritual path, you should be attracting quality men. Quality men. And by quality, quality men will not ask you out on a date thinking that they're going to have sex. Now, men who think that have probably been groomed by other men who are not quality men. who are not quality men. They just have the wrong idea. And young men coming up, see, they're getting groomed by these, we'll call them OGs, old players. They're getting groomed by these people who are giving them the wrong advice. If you really care for a young woman, and this goes for the men, I'm going to tell you, even this young man that made this statement in this letter, if he had his eyes set on the woman of his dreams, he wouldn't be expecting sex after dinner. He'll be pouring out everything he can to impress her. And if it ever came down to sex, he'll be willing to wait for the woman of his dreams. You see, all this can kind of change, ladies. And that's what you want to be, the woman of his dreams. So he can treat you like a queen, like a prize. And if he's not doing that, then he's not the right one for you. That's what I say. So love yourself and don't allow anyone to disrespect you. Okay? All right. We do have another letter here. This one is entitled Failure Notice. Okay, let's see what she says. I met a guy on Facebook dating. He is 49. I am 45. We are both divorced. Liked my profile and asked to chat. We wanted to talk on the phone immediately. He asked for my number, but I declined. I told him that Facebook has a phone option, so he could call me there if he liked. He fussed at first, but we eventually talked. Facebook phone. We talked for 3 hours. I thought he was a cool guy, and we had a lot in common. We were laughing and just chatting away. I felt comfortable. He then asked if we could meet for ice cream. I told him sure. He said that he didn't like to go out in our city. He liked to go across the bridge to the neighboring state. I told him I love our city, and since I live downtown, there are so many places we could meet. And he said he hates downtown. For some reason, he doesn't want to go downtown. No way. He said he prefers going far out. Far out where nobody knows him. That's where he wants to go. Far out. Then he said we could date in the city, but he would ride in my car instead of his. He doesn't want to be recognized. I said, hold up. Nobody is riding in anyone's car. We are meeting someplace. He told me that I was trying to irritate him. But then he laughed. No, you saw a glimpse of who he really is. When he said that you were trying to irritate him, that was a glimpse of who he really is. He's hiding behind a facade. Okay? But then he laughed. I said, I don't know you well enough to be in your car or you in mine. This is why I suggested we meet in our area so that it is convenient for both of us. My senses told me either he has a woman or several women he doesn't want to be seen on a date. True. He could be married and live downtown. But people downtown know him and they know his car. Okay? I'm thinking of blocking him and moving on. However, I don't want to miss out on a nice guy. You won't. He's not a nice guy. Not this one. But then I said to myself, I'm not about to drive across the bridge for ice cream when there is an ice cream shop right down the block. I live downtown and he is 10 minutes away from downtown. What sense does that make to drive far out? He's hiding. That's why he wants you far out. He doesn't want to date you where other people that know him are. And they're apparently downtown. So no, this is bad news. Let him go, move on. And it's not a good idea to meet these people on social media anyway. Many of them are married and just wanting to cheat. Many of these men. And the ones that are not married are out to scam you out of something. Money, resources, whatever. So stay off social media. It's too many predators there. You'll never find a nice guy on social media. So let it go. Move on. This guy is bad news. He's hiding. He's probably married or engaged or whatever. But he is involved with someone else. Your intuition told you that. And always go by your intuition. It would never fail you. All right. So I hope that you understand. And I really hope it helps. The topic today was, is it a date or a sexual transaction? Like we read in one of the letters, the young man felt like, if he takes you out to dinner, it's a sexual transaction. That's his mindset. That's a low vibrational mindset. And many young men do have that mindset because they have been groomed by low vibrational men. That's where it comes from, people. Ladies, guard yourself. Guard yourself. Tell them straight up, sex is not on the menu. Okay? And then if a young man wants to date you past that, take you out, wine and dine you or whatever, enjoy. But remember, you're on the date to watch him, to see how he treats you, how he is in public. Is this a person that you want a relationship with? You want to be aware of that. So you're not going to go on a date yourself and get all intoxicated and don't know what's happening. That's a wasted date. That's a wasted date. A date is for you to get to know each other. You can enjoy, but getting to know each other. But it's not an interview. I was on a date one time where the guy had a whole list of questions to ask you on a date, like an interview. That to me is a total turnoff. It's a total turnoff. So when you're on a date, don't interview the person, but you can ask questions to get to know them. And it doesn't seem like you're just firing off these questions. What's your goal in 5 years? What's things like that. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That is not the beginning of a good relationship. When you're scrutinizing somebody and you're interviewing them like it's a job interview. There are ways to get to know a person on a date without these harsh questions. Okay? Just be easy. Just be easy and observant. Try to get to know as much as you can on these dates. If you feel good around this person. And let your intuition talk to you too. If your intuition says, then let it be a Okay? Your intuition is your guide. And your intuition has the ability to see further than you can see. Your intuition can see what this person will do down the line to you. So go with your intuition on these dates. All right? So I hope that this message helps you. And I really hope that you understand it. And ladies, you are not obligated to have sex with a man because he takes you on a date. Okay? That's what it's all about. It's not a transactional deal. Let them know in the beginning of the date you will not be having sex and see where it goes from there. All right? Okay. All right. Now, those of you who have questions that you would like for me to answer, here's the link. Send your questions to Miss Faye's World, YT@hotmail.com. That's Miss Faye's World, YT@hotmail.com. And those of you who haven't been here in a bit, my email has changed because the old account was hacked and deleted. So now you can reach me at Miss Faye's World, YT@hotmail.com. And try to keep your letters to one page. Just summarize your situation and ask the question. And if you prefer that I answer your question privately through the email, just put it at the very top of your letter and I will comply. Now, to show my appreciation to you for supporting this channel, I will be giving away a deck just like this one to one of you lucky subscribers once this channel hits 100,000. This is a 53 Oracle card deck that will go out to one of you lucky winners. And I will be announcing the lucky winner's name on the channel once we hit that number. So keep watching and good luck to all of you. I want to thank you so much for your comments and your letters. And a special thank you to those that leave a donation. I really appreciate all of you. I wish you much happiness, and I really hope to see you next time.